Have you ever wondered why certain spaces feel different? Walk into one room and tension melts away. Enter another and your mind sharpens. The difference isn't always obvious. It's not the furniture or the paint color. Sometimes it's what's growing quietly in the corner. Throughout human history, we've shared our living spaces with plants, not just for food or beauty, but for something deeper. Ancient civilizations understood what modern research is only beginning to prove. Specific plants alter the very air we breathe, the way we sleep, even how clearly we think. They're not passive decorations, they're active participants in our well-being, working around the clock while we are completely unaware. The science is remarkable. Some plants release oxygen at night while we sleep. Others filter invisible toxins from the air. Some naturally humidify dry spaces, while others produce aromatic compounds that directly influence our nervous systems. These aren't claims from ancient folklore. These are measurable, documented effects that transform indoor environments in profound ways. So, which plants actually deliver these benefits? And more importantly, how do they work? What follows is an exploration of 20 extraordinary plants, each with its own unique mechanism for enhancing human health. From cognitive enhancement to respiratory support, from stress reduction to emotional balance, these living organisms offer solutions to problems many people don't even realize can be solved by simply bringing the right greenery indoors. Number 1. Rosemary, the memory enhancer. Most people encounter rosemary in the kitchen, sprinkled over roasted vegetables or infused into olive oil. But this Mediterranean herb possesses abilities that extend far beyond culinary applications. When you brush against a rosemary plant, those needle-like leaves release volatile compounds into the air, and these compounds do something fascinating to human cognition. Scientific studies have demonstrated that rosemary's aroma enhances memory consolidation and sharpens mental focus. The mechanism involves stimulation of neural pathways associated with concentration and recall. Ancient Greek students wore rosemary garlands while studying, and they were onto something. The plant creates a measurable improvement in cognitive performance. Imagine positioning rosemary near your desk or workspace. That afternoon mental fog that typically demands caffeine intervention? The simple act of running your fingers across those fragrant leaves might provide a more effective solution. The scent creates an immediate sense of mental clarity that feels almost refreshing, like opening a window in a stuffy room. Growing rosemary indoors requires minimal effort. Provide abundant sunlight, a south-facing window works perfectly, and ensure the soil drains well. The plant doesn't tolerate waterlogged roots, but otherwise asks for very little. In exchange, you receive a natural cognitive enhancer that works without side effects, crashes, or dependency. Number 2. Peace lily, the headache reliever. Peace lilies address a problem that many people suffer from without understanding the cause. Modern buildings, especially during winter months, create remarkably dry indoor environments. Heating systems extract moisture from the air, leaving it parched and uncomfortable. This dryness doesn't just affect your skin, it's a primary trigger for persistent headaches and sinus pressure that won't resolve no matter how much water you drink. Peace lilies function as natural humidifiers, releasing moisture into the surrounding air through their leaves. This process, called transpiration, continuously adds humidity to dry spaces. The result is often a noticeable reduction in headache frequency and intensity. People who keep peace lilies in bedrooms or offices frequently report fewer sinus-related discomforts. Beyond the practical benefits, peace lilies possess an aesthetic quality that influences mood. Those elegant white blooms emerging from dark foliage create a sense of visual tranquility. There's something inherently calming about their appearance, a gentle, understated beauty that doesn't demand attention but rewards observation. The plant even communicates its needs clearly. When it requires water, the leaves droop noticeably. Provide water, and within hours they perk right back up. This clear signaling eliminates the guesswork that kills so many houseplants. Keep it in indirect light, Water when it droops, and it will work continuously to improve your indoor environment. Number 3. Aloe vera, the living first aid kit. Aloe vera's reputation as a healing plant spans thousands of years and countless cultures. Break open one of those thick, succulent leaves, and you'll find a clear gel packed with compounds that address burns, cuts, and inflammation. It's remarkably effective, so much so that many hospitals keep aloe plants for treating minor burns. But there's a psychological dimension that often goes overlooked. Having aloe vera in your home creates a sense of preparedness. Minor kitchen burn, sunburn from an afternoon outdoors, small cut while gardening. The solution is right there on your windowsill. This accessibility provides comfort beyond the physical healing. It's the security of knowing you have immediate relief available. Aloe thrives on benign neglect. It actually prefers dry conditions to constant watering. The thick leaves store water, allowing the plant to survive extended periods without attention. This makes it perfect for people who want healing plants but worry about complicated care requirements. Provide bright light, water sparingly, and aloe will not only survive, but flourish. The plant's resilience mirrors the healing it provides. Tough, adaptable, and remarkably effective at what it does. Number 4. Lavender, the sleep inducer. Stress and poor sleep form a vicious cycle. Stress prevents sleep, lack of sleep increases stress, and the pattern repeats until exhaustion becomes chronic. Lavender interrupts this cycle through a remarkably elegant mechanism. The essential oils in lavender flowers and leaves contain compounds that directly influence our nervous systems. When you inhale lavender's distinctive scent, it triggers measurable physiological changes. Heart rate decreases, cortisol levels, your body's primary stress hormone, drop significantly. Brainwave patterns shift towards states associated with relaxation. These aren't subjective feelings, they're objective, measurable responses. Placing lavender on your nightstand creates a natural aromatherapy environment. Those racing thoughts that keep you awake at midnight? Instead of reaching for your phone or staring at the ceiling, try this. Gently rub a few lavender leaves between your fingers and breathe deeply. That instant release of fragrance acts like a reset button, bringing your nervous system back towards equilibrium. The plant needs good light. It evolved in sunny Mediterranean climates and careful watering. Lavender doesn't tolerate wet feet, so ensure the soil drains well. In exchange for this modest care, you receive pharmaceutical-grade stress relief without prescriptions, side effects, or morning grogginess.
Number 5. Spider plant, the air purifier. Spider plants don't have the dramatic appearance of tropical palms or the fragrant allure of herbs. They're humble plants with arching green and white striped leaves, but underestimating them would be a mistake. These unassuming plants are exceptional at removing airborne toxins and improving overall air quality. Cleaner air translates directly to better cognitive function. Your brain requires oxygen to work effectively, and when the air is purified of pollutants, you receive more of what you need. People often notice increased alertness and reduced mental fatigue in spaces where spider plants thrive. The effect isn't dramatic or immediate, but over time, it becomes undeniable. There's also something psychologically reassuring about spider plants. They're remarkably forgiving. Miss a watering? They'll survive. Forget to fertilize? They'll keep growing. This hardy nature provides a daily reminder that resilience is built into the structure of living things. The plant also produces baby plantlets on long stems that dangle down, creating visual interest and providing opportunities for propagation. A single spider plant can eventually populate your entire home, each one working quietly to purify your air. Number 6. English ivy, the respiratory aid. For anyone dealing with allergies or respiratory sensitivities, English ivy offers something remarkably specific and valuable. Research has shown that this trailing vine actively reduces airborne mold particles, in some studies by as much as 78% within just 12 hours. Mold spores are invisible but powerful triggers for respiratory discomfort, allergies, and asthma symptoms. By filtering these particles from the air, English ivy creates an environment where breathing becomes noticeably easier. This is precisely why hospitals and recovery facilities often incorporate this plant into their spaces. The visual appeal of English ivy adds another dimension. Those cascading vines create elegant flowing lines that soften hard architectural edges. Whether draped from a shelf or trained up a small trellis, the plant introduces organic movement into static spaces. Care requirements are straightforward: moderate light and soil that stays consistently moist but not waterlogged. In exchange, English ivy works around the clock, filtering your air and making each breath a little easier. Number 8. Areca palm, the natural humidifier. When winter arrives and heating systems transform homes into arid deserts, the areca palm becomes especially valuable. This tropical plant is one of nature's most effective humidifiers, releasing impressive amounts of water through transpiration. A single mature areca palm can release nearly a liter of water into the air every 24 hours. The practical benefits are immediate. Wake up with a scratchy throat, stuffy nose despite drinking plenty of water? The areca palm addresses these issues by fundamentally changing your indoor air's moisture content. Respiratory comfort improves, skin feels less tight, and sinuses function more normally. There's also something deeply satisfying about having what appears to be a small tropical paradise in your living room. Those feathery fronds create visual softness and movement, transforming sterile spaces into environments that feel alive. Provide bright indirect light and keep the soil consistently moist. Think of it as the tropical plant it is. In exchange, it will dramatically improve your winter comfort and transform your space's entire atmosphere. Number 9. Jade plant, the symbol of stability. Jade plants occupy an interesting intersection between physical benefits and psychological well-being. Those thick, rounded leaves aren't just attractive, they symbolize prosperity and stability across many cultures. This symbolism isn't arbitrary. There's actual research suggesting that having visual symbols of abundance and permanence in our environment influences how we feel and approach challenges. The jade plant embodies these qualities perfectly. It's solid, enduring, and grows slowly but steadily, qualities we often need reminding of in our fast-paced world. Looking at a well-established jade plant provides a subtle message: good things develop over time with consistent care. The plant is also remarkably forgiving. It requires only occasional watering and some sunlight to thrive. Sometimes the best wellness tools are the ones that don't add stress to our already complicated lives. Number 10. Boston fern, the humidity powerhouse. Boston ferns are champions at releasing moisture into the air. If you've experienced that uncomfortable tightness in your chest during dry winter months or sinus pressure that refuses to ease, a Boston fern can make a genuine difference. The added humidity helps your respiratory system function more comfortably. These plants do require consistent care. They need moisture and indirect light, but the respiratory benefits justify the attention. Many people with chronic sinus issues or respiratory sensitivities find that Boston ferns provide relief that no amount of store-bought humidifiers quite match. There's something about the natural moisture release that feels different from mechanical humidification. Perhaps it's the negative ions, perhaps it's the trace compounds released along with the water vapor. Whatever the mechanism, the results speak for themselves. Number 11. Chamomile, the natural relaxation aid. Growing chamomile indoors might seem unusual, but it offers unique advantages. That mild, calming aroma familiar with chamomile tea can become a natural presence in your living space. The gentle scent has genuine calming properties without being overwhelming or cloying. Having chamomile in a bedroom or meditation space creates a naturally soothing atmosphere. The plant itself is modest, small daisy-like flowers and feathery foliage, but the impact on ambiance is surprisingly significant. Plus, you can harvest those small flowers and use them fresh. There's something satisfying about growing your own relaxation aid, about having that direct connection between plant and benefit. Provide good light and keep the soil moderately moist. In exchange, you'll have a personal aromatherapy garden that works continuously to create calm.
Number 12. ZZ plant, the grounding anchor. The ZZ plant has an incredibly grounding presence that's difficult to articulate until experienced directly. Those thick, waxy leaves and sturdy stems create a sense of stability and permanence that genuinely calms the mind. Each leaf emerges in perfectly symmetrical pairs, creating a visual rhythm that's oddly satisfying to observe. The deep green color, almost glossy in its intensity, adds to this sense of solid, enduring presence. What makes the ZZ plant particularly valuable is how it interacts with our psychological need for reliability in an unpredictable world. When everything around us feels chaotic, when schedules shift and plans dissolve, the ZZ plant remains constant. It doesn't shed leaves dramatically. It doesn't suddenly wilt. It simply persists, growing slowly and steadily, asking for almost nothing. It's also remarkably low maintenance, which means less stress about plant care. For busy people juggling demanding careers, families, and responsibilities, or for chaotic environments where attention is constantly divided, having a plant that provides such solid grounding while asking for almost nothing is invaluable. You can forget to water it for weeks. The thick rhizomes store water underground, and it will forgive you. Low light? No problem. The ZZ plant adapted to grow under the forest canopy in Eastern Africa, so it handles dim conditions that would leave other plants struggling. Sparse watering every 2 to 3 weeks, low to moderate light, that's essentially all it requires to anchor your space beautifully. The plant is truly the equivalent of a reliable friend who's always there but never demanding, never creating drama, never requiring constant attention. Just steady, solid, dependable presence. In homes where everything else feels temporary or demanding, the ZZ plant offers something increasingly rare: simplicity and permanence combined. Number 13. Bamboo palm, the stress reducer. Bamboo palms bring a softening quality to harsh indoor environments that's both visual and atmospheric. Whether confronting the hard edges of modern furniture, the sharp angles of contemporary architecture, or the sterile atmosphere of office spaces, bamboo palms introduce flowing, organic movement that fundamentally transforms how a space feels. Those graceful, arching fronds create gentle motion with even the slightest air current. Unlike static furniture or fixed architectural elements, bamboo palms bring life and movement into spaces that might otherwise feel frozen or rigid. This movement matters more than we often realize. Our eyes naturally follow motion, and when that motion is slow, graceful, and organic rather than sharp and mechanical, our nervous systems respond by down-regulating stress responses. Research has shown they promote calmer breathing patterns. Something about their gentle, swaying presence encourages slower, deeper breaths without conscious effort. It's as if the plant models the kind of breathing we should be doing: steady, rhythmic, unhurried. When you're near a bamboo palm, especially if there's any air circulation in the room, you might notice yourself unconsciously matching your breath to the plant's gentle movement. If you have a stressful environment that feels too rigid, an office with harsh fluorescent lighting and hard surfaces, a modern home with lots of concrete and steel, a workspace where everything feels angular and unforgiving, a bamboo palm might shift the entire energy. It introduces a counterpoint, a visual and energetic balance that makes harsh spaces livable. They appreciate bright indirect light and consistent moisture. They're tropical plants, so they prefer humidity and regular watering, but what they offer in return is profound, a fundamental transformation in how a space feels and how you breathe within it. the investment of care yields returns that extend far beyond simple decoration. Number 14, geranium, the mood balancer. Geraniums offer a mood-stabilizing scent recognized in traditional wellness practices for centuries, from European herbalism to traditional Chinese medicine. The aroma from geranium leaves possesses this remarkable quality of being neither overly stimulating like peppermint, nor deeply sedating like lavender, but genuinely balancing. It sits right in the middle, creating equilibrium rather than pushing you toward either extreme. The mechanism involves how the aromatic compounds interact with our limbic system, the part of the brain that processes emotions and regulates mood. Geranium's scent seems to help normalize emotional responses rather than suppressing or amplifying them. For people struggling with emotional ups and downs, with mood swings that make each day unpredictable, having a geranium nearby provides a subtle but real support. Think of it like this. If your emotional state is a pendulum swinging from anxiety to depression, from overstimulation to exhaustion, geranium helps dampen that swing. It doesn't eliminate emotions, that would be neither possible nor desirable, but it creates a gentler, more manageable range of emotional experience. It's like having a gentle emotional anchor in plant form, something that helps you stay more centered regardless of external circumstances. The flowers add visual beauty alongside aromatherapy benefits. Geraniums produce blooms in shades of pink, red, white, and purple, often blooming generously when conditions are right. This visual reward adds another layer of satisfaction. You're not just growing a functional plant, you're cultivating something that brings aesthetic pleasure as well. They need good light, a sunny window is ideal, and well-drained soil. Geraniums don't like sitting in water, so make sure the pot has drainage holes. But they're quite forgiving overall, tolerating missed waterings better than constant overwatering. The combination of visual appeal, emotional support, and relatively easy care makes them valuable additions to any space where emotional balance feels elusive.
Number 15. Calathea, the mindfulness teacher. Calatheas are visually stunning with their intricate patterns and unique leaf movements, but these characteristics serve a specific wellness purpose beyond mere aesthetics. Those elaborate patterns, stripes, spots, geometric designs in shades of green, purple, pink, and silver create visual complexity that naturally captures attention. When you look at a calathea, your eye wants to follow the patterns, trace the lines, notice the details. This visual engagement encourages mindfulness and presence in a way that's almost effortless. When you take a moment to really observe a calathea, to notice the details, the colors, the way light plays across the leaves, the way the patterns seem to shift depending on your angle of view, you're practicing mindfulness without trying. You're bringing your attention fully into the present moment, observing without judgment, simply noticing what is. But calatheas offer something even more remarkable. They move. As evening approaches, the leaves fold upward in a process called nyctanisty, then open again with morning light. This daily rhythm provides a living demonstration of natural cycles, of the passage of time made visible. Watching this movement, whether you observe it happening slowly over the course of an evening, or notice the different position when you wake each morning, connects you to something larger than your immediate concerns. The plant naturally draws you into the present moment repeatedly throughout your day. In our distraction-filled world where notifications pull attention in every direction, where multitasking has become the default mode, where being fully present feels increasingly rare, having something that gently calls you back to presence holds tremendous value. They do require consistent care, high humidity, which might mean misting or a pebble tray with water, indirect light that's bright but not harsh, and consistent moisture in the soil. The soil should stay evenly moist but never waterlogged. For some people, these requirements feel demanding, but many find that caring for them becomes part of their mindfulness practice. The daily check-in: is the soil moist? Do the leaves look vibrant? Should I mist today? Becomes a moment of pause, of presence, of connecting with something living that responds to care. Number 16, Holy Basil, the complete wellness plant. If one plant combines physical health, emotional resilience, and stress reduction into a single package, it's Holy Basil, known as Tulsi. This isn't just another herb, it's classified as an adaptogen in Ayurvedic medicine, meaning it helps your body adapt to stress and maintain balance. Tulsi is associated with stress reduction, emotional resilience, and overall vitality. People who regularly consume Tulsi tea or keep the plant nearby often report feeling more centered, more capable of handling challenges, and more emotionally balanced. The benefits extend beyond stress management. Tulsi has been linked to improved immunity, better respiratory health, and enhanced mental clarity. It's been revered for centuries as a sacred plant of protection and healing, and modern research increasingly validates these traditional uses. Growing it indoors is straightforward, provides sunlight, warmth, and regular watering, and it thrives. From mental clarity to better sleep, from cleaner air to emotional balance, these 20 plants offer genuine benefits. They work quietly, transforming homes from mere shelters into healing environments. In bringing them into our spaces, we're making a choice about how we want to feel, how we want to breathe, how we want to live. Nature has always offered answers to many modern struggles. Sometimes the solution is as simple as making room for the right green companions and letting them do what they've evolved to do, help us thrive. If you found this exploration helpful, a thumbs up helps others discover these natural health solutions, and subscribing ensures you won't miss future deep dives into wellness and plant science. I'd love to hear your experiences in the comments. Which of these plants resonates with you? Or are you already growing any of them?